सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Here. Yes.
So I want to share the screen. Mouse disabled participant. I want to share the screen.
You can share now.
Okay.
Few clarifications from the lesson. The history of intellect. First question. Does age of perception mean what you see is what it is, taking things for granted? Switch it on. Does age of perception mean what you see is what it is, taking things for granted? Age of perception is not taking things for granted. Age of perception is just gazing and not reacting to anything. It is not taking things, even taking things for granted implies you are understanding something. Not willing to question is what is meant as taking things for granted. In the age of perception here, what we are talking is, there is no seeing things. How do you understand the word gazing? What is meant by the word gazing? Just yeah, just correct. Just seeing things around and not meaning there is no application of any instrument here, just seeing things around, that's all. Just simply looking at things without any reaction. So that is called as the age of perception, where intellect is not awakened at all. So you have to understand that it has got the age of perception means simply seeing things around and not reacting to anything. It is not, don't equate it to taking things for granted and all here. That is stretching it too much. He is only saying there is a state where intellect doesn't function at all. That's all. And in so many instances in our life, intellect doesn't function, we just gaze. Okay. You go to a temple, you just gaze around. You don't see anything. There is so much of wonderful architecture there, you don't see anything. You go to a music concert, you only hear sound. You don't hear music, you only hear sound because you are not deaf. So sound enters you. But there is no music there. It is just sound, where there is no reaction to anything at all is called age of perception. You follow? This is what is understood as age of perception. Second clarification. Is world or matter the field of inquiry for the age of perception even prior to questioning? She's saying, is the age of perception prior to questioning? Yes, age of perception is prior to questioning. When you start questioning, you become superstitious. So age of perception is before, prior to asking any questions. Are you okay?
The field of inquiry.
There is only one field, world. That's all. It is already said in the question. There is no spirituality at all. Spirituality comes after scientific inquiry only. Till that time, it is very clear. Till the time it is very clear, it is only world. There is no in the world 4 stages, in spirituality 4 stages and all. 3 stages in the world. Contemplation is spirituality, the 4th one.
Oh.
She's divided it into 2. Age of gazing, observation, scientific inquiry, contemplation in spirituality. The other same 4 in perception, observation, scientific inquiry, contemplation in field of inquiry as in matter, world. No. The first 3 pertains to matter. The last one pertains to spirituality. Third clarification, she is bringing in an age factor. Is age of perception limited to less than 7 years only? And all those above 7 are in the age of superstition. From where she got into this age of 7, God only knows. Yeah. From where she got into the 7. Age of perception is across all age groups. There is no age group there. Across all age groups. Because they just see things and they don't. Supposing if a 50-year-old person is seeing something and not reacting to anything, what would you call that person? What stage that person would be in? Age of gazing only. You follow? So don't bring in biological age factors to understand the 4 stages. Then it will become only at 65 we can become contemplative. If you bring in biological age. So don't bring in biological age. And we are talking about the subtle body.
Okay.
About the physical body here. Age pertains to the physical body. There is no age. You cannot determine the subtle body's age. You can only determine the physical body's age. Are you able to follow?
Yes.
Next. What is the 4th question?
So you said the perception guides and I go according to my perception, hoping to get it. Then I don't get it. And then I ask why.
All this is not discussed in this chapter. Are you able to follow?
Oh.
What you are saying, perception guides, because of the same word perception that we use in some other context, you are bringing it in. This 4 steps is not discussed in this context.
Because last class it was taught, so I brought the same thing here to ask, are these not questions?
Then it is not, then if the moment questioning comes, it is not age of perception. The moment questioning comes, it is not age of perception. There is no doubt in that. Is this not questioning? Right. Don't make it philosophical here. Understand it as intellect grows into 4 stages. Why we do a introductory textbook after reading a proper, not just these are improper books, after reading a heavy philosophical stuff, why do we come to a introductory text? To come back to your level and go up again. Because you study Vedanta treatise, you read the last chapter, the Mahavakyas and Maya and all that. All questions will be at that level only, which is of no help. So every book, I make it a point to come to one introductory text. So don't philosophize it here. Mind is neither lost nor preoccupied, and the person asks why I didn't get it. Is this not? Yes, all these are questioning, which comes under scientific inquiry.
Okay.
Hmm?
Hmm.
What exactly is the meaning of the word no reaction to what he sees around? Again, question is with regard to age of perception only. What exactly is the meaning of the word no reaction to what he sees around? Supposing if I am taken to supposing if I am taken to a basketball match, what I will be doing there? I will be gazing. I will be simply gazing because I know people are running around. That's all. I know people are running around, but I don't understand. So, என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க basketball matchல என்ன பார்த்தா நல்லா பறக்க பார்த்தா we will say. Isn't it? What happened in basketball match today? நல்லா வேடிக்கை பார்த்தா we will say. Because I just didn't understand anything, nor is there any motivation to know what it is. I don't understand. Obviously, I will not understand. I will want to know what it is. Now, gazing means no reaction means no motivation to know. No motivation to know what it is. With regard to the age of superstition, I said, mind likes unrelatable answers. Please elaborate. We are going to discuss that today. We are going to discuss a little bit about how superstition works. How does the seventh one will take up? We'll finish this scientific inquiry. Huh?
Yeah.
Superstition will. Yes.
So again, regarding age of perception and gazing.
Yes.
So currently you taught us that currently as we are at any point in time we are a combination of all four.
Yes.
All four, but then there's also chronology aspect. Right? So
Yes.
we talk about human development.
Yes.
We talk about caveman, and then we come to Newton's and Einstein's and Abraham, Alexander Graham Bell, and now we come
Yes.
to we talk about the four ages.
Correct.
There is a chronology aspect, right? There is a chronology aspect, right?
Yeah. Now, what Ram Subramaniam is asking is there a chronological aspect in the growth? Chronological means sequentially.
It's from age of perception to age of contemplation.
Yes.
That is right.
Yes, there is a chronologic.
Okay.
There is a chronology here.
Okay, sir. So now coming back to age of perception, so we don't have to talk about telecommunication advancement, right? Or maybe we don't even have to talk about the invention of wheat, right?
Yes.
But then they had to survive.
Yes.
Which means they have to first find meat.
Yes.
Whether it's meat or whatever it is, they have to find what meat.
Who?
People who are in the age of perception.
Okay.
Like, right, so
Okay.
shouldn't we go to Los Angeles pick up what because we know we need it.
Yes. Yes.
People it has some nutrient carbohydrate or some nutrient or other, we are able to do that. No, they had to, so they don't have to move from one place to another. They don't have to do telecommunication to another and all that. But to survive, they have to do at least like maybe if not 3 weeks, at least 2 weeks or 1 week per day.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
They have to
Yes.
question and analyze, inquire what can be eaten, what cannot be eaten.
Yes.
Which has been passed on to the next stages.
Yes.
That, right? So,
Yes. That is scientific inquiry.
But it is happening in the age of caveman or
Yes.
or,
Even in the age of cavemen, there is scientific inquiry. To them, that is scientific inquiry. See, you think scientific inquiry means telescope, computers, artificial intelligence. To them, when what a huge scientific discovery is, when a human being decided to sit on a horse and ride. How huge was that thinking at that point of time? Today it makes no sense. Today it looks like so obvious. It is not that obvious. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, whether it is the caveman or current generation or in between generation, all generations will go through these 4 stages. All generation will go through these 4 stages. You have to understand what is your notion of science. What is your, see, we think science means physics, chemistry, mathematics, isn't it? if that person decided to, if that person decided me running, the animals are running faster than me. Human is also running, animals are also running faster. So one man thought how to outrun them. Why not sit on a fast running animal? What is it called? Superstition? What is it? Scientific inquiry. So right through human society, scientific inquiry keeps on happening. Therefore, don't equate scientific inquiry to the jargons that we use today. Don't equate scientific inquiry to that. When the man discovered salt, what an extraordinary scientific inquiry it is that they discovered salt. Salary means salt. You know that? Do you know salary means they give salt? You work for 1 week. At the end of the first week, weekly wages. What is the weekly wage? Salt was given. We can't even connect with that stories. We feel what is that kind of what is salt given as salary? Because these are the days where all cashless, no? All in the cloud, no? All in the cloud, isn't it? So scientific inquiry happens right through human history. Scientific inquiry keeps happening. And through knowledge, they pass it on to the knowledge gets passed on to the next generation. You follow? Therefore, it is not that everybody was in age of guessing at that point of time. Everybody is scientific inquiry now. No. In fact, out of 100 people who know science, 95 are highly superstitious only. What are even today? Of the 100 people who talk about science, where do you get a scientific temperament, proper scientific temperament person? It's all superstition only. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, at any point of time, human society will have all of the four. Always. There is no point in time in human life where one set was very much, like age of perception was so much and scientific inquiries was very few, contemplators didn't exist at all. It was not like that. In fact, if you seem to go back to the Vedic sages, contemplative people seems to be on the higher side. How it is still a mystery. If you look at it, they seem to be, the contemplative seem to, naturally speaking, contemplative people should be more today, no? Contemplative should be, logically speaking, today everybody should be contemplative because for all of us, everything is taken care of, isn't it? Yeah. Electricity pona kuda generator which air condition we are sitting. Those are the times where nothing was there. So what they should be worried about? Where did they even have time for contemplation? But seems to be more contemplative people were at that time. So something we don't know, something we are not able to correlate. And I say something we are not able to correlate. In the topic, I have correlated it. There is reason, but don't ask clarifications on that. Because in this book, it is not there. That which is not there in this book, if you are still interested, come and ask me privately. That is if I answer your phone. Yeah. That is you call me, and if I answer it. You are lucky if I you are lucky. Some of them are laughing because they know 4 days, 5 days also they call. I don't. And there's no hurry. Nothing. Nobody is in ICU too. Superficial emotion they get excited for nothing. Is it okay?
Last week's class, so you said science is dealing with matter.
Yes.
And Vedanta is dealing with reality.
Yes.
So my question is, science also talks about how the universe was created.
Yes.
It talks about Big Bang theory and other theories.
Yes.
So when science talks about Big Bang theory, other theories in terms of how everything came together, right? QnA galaxy, all these planets, Earth, and all that. Isn't it also talking about reality and possible creator behind all of this?
Yeah. Is science also talking about
Reality.
reality as a Big Bang theory and all that? I don't think anybody in this classroom have that much of physics even to understand Big Bang and all. So that which we don't understand, I don't think anybody here is qualified to even know what is Big Bang. Some YouTube video, some PPT, some Times of India article we read somewhere. Science doesn't.
Introduced to these things at a very high level.
Isn't it? All this is forgotten. Yeah, all this is forgotten. By the time you finish the exam paper and come out of the hall, all this is forgotten. Yeah, why even bother? And still to answer, Ram Subramanian, still to answer. Science does inquiry and cannot conclusively conclude anything. Remember the fundamental difference between science and Vedanta. Science cannot conclusively conclude. That's why science is a bunch of opinions. Take it or leave it. Science cannot conclusively conclude about anything. Because by the time you conclude, 100 people are working on it, and in one day they prove that it is wrong. So science goes into a loop. Science gets you into a loop where you can never conclude about anything. That is why to be scientific is very difficult. Why to be scientific is very difficult is because in the true sense of the term, science means you cannot conclude anything. By the time you conclude, somebody else will come and yes, disprove it. Therefore, science goes in circles. That is why there is no anta there. There is no antam there. So, science and philosophy don't inquire, they don't have any commonality at all. Again, I repeat, I'm making a very, very difficult statement to digest. Science and spirituality, Vedanta, have no commonality at all. Because first, what is the difference between science? What is science? Science is opinions. When I say opinions means it cannot conclusively conclude about anything. Number one. Number two, what is the authoritative source of data for sciences? Senses and inference. It is called pratyaksha and anumanam. So all are inference based. Science is why they cannot conclusively conclude. And I say they cannot conclusively conclude. I'm not making a statement. There is a proof behind it. Why can't we say science cannot conclude about anything? At one level, they will say matter is solid, liquid, gases. Is it the same till you finish? When you go deeper, they change the matter definition. And when you go deeper, they change the matter definition. And then at the core, they will say, we are still discovering what it is. Then why did you call it as solid, liquid, and gas? So at one level, it seems to be very clear. When you go deeper and deeper and deeper, it is inconclusive. Are you able to follow? Same example again, I repeat. What is matter? Solid, liquid, and gas. Proven? Is it conclusively proven?
For certain grades, it is conclusive.
It is not. Then say it. It's not conclusive. Don't say for certain grades means what are you saying? It is not. It is not conclusive. It is not conclusive. Meaning, as long as you are in 6th grade, it will be like that. The moment you go to 10th grade, it changes. The moment you go to deeper, it keeps changing. It means science cannot conclusively conclude about anything because the authoritative sources of knowledge for sciences, what we call as pramanam, is pratyaksham and anumanam, inference. Are you okay? Do you understand that? Anything inference based cannot be conclusive. Anything inference based cannot be conclusive. Therefore, science can never conclude about anything. One doctor wrote a book. One doctor wrote a book. How doctors keep you sick. Have you heard about that book? You don't know. No, don't try for all the book and all immediately. How doctors keep you sick. Are you able to follow? Oh, all these medications and all that is so harmful to the system, this, that, go to something else. Now, is there any conclusive proof to both? Whatever your preference is, whatever you like, you will conclude that as correct. Allopathy means you will conclude allopathy is right because that is your individual preference. It is not a Ayurveda is right. It is your individual preference. It is not conclusive. Oh, homeopathy is best. Fourth fellow make a mixture of everything. All is there anything conclusively done here? It is not. Yeah, are you able to follow? So inference based. When it comes to science in the way that it is approaching matter today, it can never find reality because it is relying on pratyaksham and anuman. Is it okay till now? I will further complicate it. Scientific means measurable, quantifiable. Science means it has to be measured, it has to be seen, it has to be measured, it has to be quantified. What we are talking about, the realities of life, doesn't fit under any of these. Therefore, what do? We say science is very good as far as making an attempt to make life better. Science is very good as long as it is making an attempt to make life better, and they have made life. I don't know. They have made life. That's all. Better or worse, individual opinions. Yeah. Personally, better. Yeah, personally better. ஏன்னா உட்கார்ந்த இடத்துல இருந்து எல்லாரும் பாக்குறாங்கல்ல. உட்கார்ந்த இடத்துல இருந்து எல்லாம் பாக்குறாங்க. Isn't it? Fourth, whatever solution science bring, that will become a problem. Always in human history till date, science brings in a solution, and whatever solution science brings in, that solution it brought becomes the problem to the not for that generation, it becomes a problem to the next generation. Are you able to follow? These are all sciences, and it is inevitable that we need science. Can we get rid of science? Can we get rid of it then? No, you cannot. It is like amputating one hand and one leg. You cannot survive. Therefore, science is very important. But what we should not compare is philosophy is also inquiring about reality. Science is also inquiring about reality. We should not conclude like that. Because in order to conclude about reality, different methodologies are required, different instruments are used. Able to follow? different methodology is required, different instrument are used. Therefore, science and philosophy, Vedanta, spirituality and all they don't meet at all. It is like, the railway tracks. Two things. They looking at a distance, it looks like they have met, no? If you stand there and see, looking at a distance, it looks like both the tracks are converging. Do they ever converge? They cannot converge. Eternally, it will be parallel only. Eternally, it will be two separate only. We are not saying it is inferior. We are not saying in this classroom here in the way that it is written here, we are not calling it as inferior. We are saying that inquiry is different. This inquiry is different. Are you able to follow? We are not calling it as inferior. We are saying the field of inquiry is different. Emotions are nothing but chemicals in the brain. Alter the chemicals, emotions changes. So insert a rod, gratitude will start coming. Yeah. Discover a gratitude pill and give it to everybody. Gratitude will come. Where it is coming. Are you able to follow? Even though science has proved it as all as chemicals only, do you actually agree to be a chemical? Do you actually believe it is chemical in the brain? No. That is one area we accept it. We don't dismiss it as superstition. There is a methodology involved in that. The conclusions that they have come to is reasonably right, but they are not. What is it? Antam kadiyadam. That's why it's called Veda Antam. And Antam vartha use பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கோம் இங்க. Are you able to understand the difference? It is correct. We are not disputing that. But you cannot conclusively conclude and say all emotions are only chemicals in the brain. Change that. So all that we have to do is what? Discover 10 pills. 10 emotions, 10 pills. Because it's chemistry, no. It's all chemicals, no. Created in so imagine a society where gratitude pills are manufactured by some company and all of us go and pop that pill up. What will happen? So we know that it is reasonably right to some extent, but it is not conclusively. That is why science, we say, science conclusively conclude. Philosophy, you can conclusively conclude. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked, tell me, conclusively conclude. Don't keep. Arjuna is asking. You follow Ram? So know this fundamental differences between science and Vedanta. These are fundamental differences. Lastly, science rely on instruments, gadgets. Science has to rely on gadgets. Inquiry, philosophy cannot be relied on gadgets. The inquiry of reality cannot be done through using gadgets. Are you able to follow? Yes. Yeah, I'm going to discuss that.
Not more contemplative. I was starting pages and contemplative that.
Yeah. The question that she is asking, the first question is about the age of superstition, which we are going to discuss. So the second question that she is asking is, why are we not contemplative at this point in time? To become contemplative, certain truths of life should have been understood and digested. As long as certain truths about life is not understood and digested, you cannot turn contemplative. Again, I repeat, Why people are not turning contemplative today? At any point of time, why people are not turning contemplative? Because to turn contemplative, you need to have understood certain truths of life. You have to understand it, digest it, then you will automatically become contemplative. Are you able to follow? Simple example. What are the truths of life? I'll give you a simple example. For example, Ravi, an example. Simple example, off-quoted example. For example.
Everyone was born yesterday.
Everyone born has to die. Adan Shankaracharya. Yeah, that's why we read book at our level. Yeah, Ram Subramaniam is answering from Shankaracharya level. Everyone born has to die. See, what is the fact about life that we are not able to accept, understand, digest? Simple. At our level. Simple. One word. Expectation. One word. Are we able to be free of expectations? How much ever times you get burnt because of your expectations, next time what do you do? Huh? Same thing, no. How many ever times you will get burnt, how many ever times you will get hit, you will get burnt, what will you do? Another round of expectation continues. It means we have not learnt anything from life. Isn't it? Why? Because it has been very clear. Expectations is not met, and we always believe somehow we can make it happen. Yeah. Long winding path. Isavas Upanishad said it's a long winding path. Keep trying, keep trying. The Upanishad says, keep trying, But some more experiences are required. Long winding path. What is it? Expectations. Are you able to follow? A simple fact of life, which is expectation. I'm not able to understand the truth of that. Even if I understand the truth of that, I'm not able to accept it. You follow what I'm saying? If I have to, are you all able to hear me in the machine? You're able to hear me, no? Okay. Okay. Suddenly I realized I'm having a new machine today. I didn't know what is happening. Expectations. Simple truth of life. Expectation. Another simple truth of life. Everybody acts according to their nature. Everybody acts according to their nature. There is a difficulty. But it is so difficult. Are you able to follow? So if I have to become contemplative, these truths of life should be accepted. I have to accept it as the truth of life. I should digest it. I should live with it. Then it becomes clear. Are you able to follow? As long as we are not accepting these truths, it will be difficult only. You follow what I'm saying? You can go on and on. I can go on and on giving the list. Why are we not able to be contemplative? Because of not able to accept the realities. Yeah. You know it is unreliable. You know it is unpredictable. You know it is unsustainable. You know it is uncontrollable. And yet you are not able to accept it, isn't it? You know it is, the world as such is unreliable. The world as such is unpredictable. The world as such is uncontrollable, unsustainable, according to your expectations, according to your demands. You know that. And yet, I wake up in the morning and have a whole lot of expectations. A whole lot of expectations. Are you able to follow? Contemplative means the courage to accept. contemplation is reserved only for courageous people. You have to become extremely courageous to become contemplative. Today we are all so weak. We think we are strong. No, we are also so weak in the sense, Ramatirtha says, the street dog barking is enough, he says. The street dog barking is enough to upset your equanimity. What strength do we? Do we have one thing going wrong is enough to upset the entire equanimity? Where is the inner strength, courage? Upanishad says, boldness is required. You have to be very, very bold and courageous to become contemplative. You have to be very bold. You have to be very courageous. You know, you need lot of courage to fast. You know that? Normally, not when you are upset. You know that? You need lot of courage is required just to fast and to say, I'll be hungry for some time. You know that? Hypoglycemia will come. This will happen. That will happen. My blood sugar will drop. I will die down. And doctors have told me clearly, just to fast for 1 hour requires, because it looks like you are dying, isn't it? It appears as though you are going to die. What is courage? What is courage? I will be starving, and if I die, I die. It's okay. Nothing will happen. At least others around me will be happy. Yeah, at least. Yeah, if you really want to make somebody happy, what to do, Ravi? Yeah. Ram Subramanian, simply eject. Because the misery that we cause to others is unbelievable misery. You follow what I'm saying? Courage is required to contemplate. That is why we always say a spiritual person, to turn spiritual, to turn philosophical, you need courage. You can be a very superstitious person and go to God and do all that. But no courage is required there. Fear will drive you there. But here we are talking about, there is no, fear cannot drive contemplation. Fear can drive religion. Fear can drive religion. Fear can drive superstition. Courage alone can drive contemplation. What is courage? Boldly looking at the facts of life and saying, I'm okay with it. That's all. I'm okay with these facts. You speak like a wise one, Arjuna, he says. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, you speak like a wise person. Looks like even Krishna can't speak like Arjuna. Everybody talks. Shochanam shochastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase gatasuna gatashuscha anusochanti panditaha anusocati. Contemplative person, no situation, nothing can make him go through grief. That is courage in life. Grief, shoka will not, vishada will not come. Vishadam, shokam will not come. The proper word in the Bhagavad Gita is vishada. And today the English translation of vishada is very famous. The English translation of vishadam is depression. Vishada means depression. That's why the first chapter is called the Yoga of Arjuna's depression. Vishada means depression. Who gets into depression? Will a courageous person get depressed? Who will get into depression? Weakling will get into depression. they will get into depression. Why they'll get into depression? Because things are not going their way. They're not willing to accept the reality. Things are not going their way. So, don't know what to do. Why people are not able to be contemplative at any point of time in human history? Because to become contemplative, you need courage. Extraordinary courage is required. You follow what I'm saying? Contemplation and inquiry can happen only amongst insecurity. You can't have a secured environment and be contemplative. It doesn't work that way. Again, I repeat, you keep everything secure and ask the person to contemplate, what that person will do? That person will only fall off to sleep. You need that something is so, something you understand about life, as in all these factors that we discussed, and you are bold enough to accept. Bold enough to accept. Are you able to follow? So people are not able to be contemplative because courage is required. The technical word for courage is detachment. The technical word for courage, the Vedantic word for courage is detachment. Sannyasa. You follow? They were able to, in the past, people were contemplative because they were bold enough to accept the realities. We are not bold enough to accept the reality. Why? Why aren't we able to be, why are we not accepting the reality? Because you don't want to face the reality. What is the reality? You don't want to accept, you don't want to face the reality. They faced it. They were bold enough to accept it. Today we are not bold enough to accept. That's why I said 1 hour of fasting we are not able to. 1 hour of fasting we are not able to handle. Hand is shivering, leg is shivering, isn't it? Looks like we are going to die. What will happen? You will fast only when you are depressed. That is not fasting. You are depressed state. We are not talking about that. You choose today, I will not Ekadesi, I will not eat. Abdina, previous day, you will start feeling more hungry. From the previous day, you will start feeling more hungry, and on that day only, everything seems to happen. You will violate. From the next day till the 10th day, you will be very philosophical. And the way you can talk philosophy for that 14, 15 days, Krishna and Shankaracharya will feel inferior in front of us. 11th day, again, are you able to follow? Courage is required. To contemplate, courage is required. To contemplate, material comfort is not required. To contemplate, what is required? Courage is required. What is courage? Courage to accept the realities of life. The most scariest part of reality of life is this. The scariest part of reality is you don't matter at all. No individual matter at all. The worst of men, the men may come and men may go, but I go on forever, said the brook, he says. What is the you just don't matter. You, me also. Why only you, Ravi? Yeah. Oh, so you are important, SR. Yeah. Great men came, they went away. What happened? Did anything change? Nothing. So, see, what is the reality of you don't matter at all. But in your head, how it is? Ram Subramaniam. Correct. In Ram Subramaniam's head, only Ram Subramaniam matters. Yeah. He is not worried about anybody else. Yeah. So funny. Nowadays, you see, in the last 2 weeks, you see, the fellows are so scared to observe it. I'm observing for the last 2 weeks. The fellows are so scared in the driving, in the roads, to cross the line and wait for the signal. You know, last 2 weeks, people are so scared. You know why? Fine. Everybody is fine. Left, right, and center. You cross the line, you go, before you reach your office, SMS is waiting. SMS 500 rupees fine. The fellows now, even this afternoon, I was driving from one place to other. 2 fellows crossed. They came back. they just came back and seeing whether is there anybody taking a photograph. It's so funny. So it's so funny. And the amount of fine they collected in the last 2 weeks is unbelievable figures. The fine that they have collected. Line is there, you should not cross. No, that's all. Now everybody will cross. That only and stop. I will follow. Fine, Vandada, Ram Subramanian is saying, I will stop before the stop line. Illanna, I will cross only. I will follow. The reality of life is no individual matters at all in the way that we think we are so vital and important. You'll become so free. It's such a burden gone off your head. Such a burden gone off your head, and you are so free to do whatever you want to do in life after that. But our ignorance and our ego make us to believe that it is so important. It is like that. See, in every individual's head, they are the center of the planet. Yeah. The fly's ego made the fly to believe that it can be a burden to the elephant. Remember that story? Yeah. Every time you get angry, depressed, remember that fly, you will be all right. The fly told the elephant in the evening, if you are tired, tell me, I will fly away. The fly told the elephant in the evening, if you are tired, tell me, I will fly away. Elephant turned back and said, what? No, I have been sitting on you the whole day. I have been sitting on you. You would have been very tired carrying me. If you are tired, tell me, I will fly away. Because you have been carrying me the whole day. Elephant said, now that you spoke, I realized you are sitting on me. I didn't even, now that you spoke, I recognized you. Otherwise, the fly ego makes the fly to believe that it is a burden to the elephant. What to do now? What is contemplation? What is contemplation? A person who has understood this basic of life is bold enough. What? Oh, I don't matter. You will go to the other extreme of inferiority complex. Again, inferiority complex also as egoistic as superiority only. Both doesn't make any difference. Either the mind will go to superiority and it will say, I am the best amongst the best. What is inferiority? I am the worst amongst, I am the best worst. What is inferiority? Inferiority. People talk, oh, inferiority complex. So foolish it is. Why? Because amongst the worst, you are saying, I am the best. Then inferiority, Ram Subramanian, correct? Boldness is required. Courage is required to become contemplative. People don't have that courage. Nowadays, people don't have that courage. You see, people are so weak nowadays. Unbelievable weakness now. Physically, mentally, intellect, yeah, no point even talking about Intellect. Because the emotional weaknesses itself is so strong. See, what makes you emotionally weak? Not accepting the reality of life. Are you able to follow? What makes you emotionally weak? You are not able to accept the reality of life. When you accept the reality of life, you will not be weak. Upanishad says, strong backbone is necessary. Upanishad says, weaklings cannot come into spirituality. Weaklings can go to, where will weaklings go? Superstition only they'll go. That is why anybody gives a magic solution, they will fall for it. Anybody says some magic and it is done, they will fall for it. Why? Because weaklings living in fear will go to superstition, and religion is misunderstood as, or superstition is misunderstood as religion. All weaklings go there and gather. When weaklings go there and gather, what will happen? When all weak people get together, they'll become stronger. Yeah. When all weak people get together, will they become strong? When two selfish people get together, will they become unselfish? It will become selfish square, isn't it? So when two selfish people get together, they will not become unselfish. It will only be selfish square. Square கூட சொல்ல முடியாது. அது ஏதோ அது என்ன அது என்ன ப்ரோக்ரஷன்ல சொல்ல முடியல. அரித்மெட்டிக் ப்ரோக்ரஷன், ஜியோமெட்ரிக் ப்ரோக்ரஷன், அப்புறம் இன்னொரு ப்ரோக்ரஷன். இது எதுலயுமே வராது. Are you able to follow? Therefore, courage is required. Courage is required to become contemplative. And today, people are so weak. Reason for weakness. Only word. What is that one word? Attachment. What is that one word? If you understand, that is the reason for all weaknesses. One word. Attachment, expectation, fear. One word. One word is the reason for all vishadam, all worry, all depression, all suffering, all sorrows, because of just that one quality. Ignorance, non-acceptance, rendu word. I said one word. If I say that, you will throw stones at me. Shraddha. What did you say? Is it Shraddha? She's asking me a question. I am asking her a question. She is answering and saying, is it Shraddha? Yeah. Very smart. Aparna. One word. Fear. Anxiety. Fear, anxiety. One word. That's why I told you, if I tell you what it is, you will throw stones at me. Shankar. Our Usha writer in here. Now Shankar is getting very careful nowadays. ரொம்ப நாள்லாம் கேர்ஃபுல் எல்லாம் இருக்க முடியாது. I can't pretend to be very. One word, selfish. Follow the same flow. You are the center. The fly ego makes it to believe that it is the thing. So, what is the reason for all vishadam? Selfish. Selfish person can never be happy. Law. Unselfish person can never be unhappy. Law. Again, a law. Selfish person can never be happy and peaceful. Happy, peaceful, courageous, any word you put. Unselfish person can never be. The converse is also true. An unselfish person can never be happy. Because all fear and lack of courage and suffering is because self-centeredness. Selfishness. Selfishness means what? Attention upon one. All that time the attention is upon self. I. Enga ponalum I தான். Before I go, the I. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி அங்க போய் நிக்கிறது அது. Yeah. Upanishad says Brahman should go and stand like that. I should not go and stand like that. Brahman should be like that. But the I goes, and where the I is so pronounced, what will be the consequence? Fear, depression, anxiety. இதெல்லாம் இருந்தா எங்க இந்த courage இருக்கும்? If all this is there, there cannot be any courage. And for contemplation, what is required? Courage is required. Just to say that I don't matter at all. Just say that. I don't. Just say that. And you know how relieved you get. Just simply say, I don't. Illa sir, but for my family and children and all, I matter because my duty is there. No, sir. My duty is there. No, oh my God. Suddenly you'll become Nitya Naimitika Karma Yogi you will become. Yeah. Nothing like that. Just sheer selfishness. Selfishness means otherness. You are different from me. Selfishness means otherness. Dvitiyayai bhayam bhavati. Brihadaranyaka. Otherness vandritnale fear vandru. Dvitiyayai bhayam bhavati. Mahavakya of in Brihadaranyaka he says, where there is two, there will be fear. Two na other. You are here, two means the otherness. So where there is otherness, there will be Vidiyayai Bhayam Bhavati. Agyamalkya says, இது இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் பயம் இருக்குதான் இருக்கும். அரேஜே வராது. Selfishness keeps the otherness alive. Selfishness keeps the otherness alive. And then the grand declaration, same Brihadaranyaka. The wife is not dear for the sake of the wife, but for the sake of the self in the wife. The son is not dear for the sake of, you think you are loving them? No, you are in love with yourself. That's all. You are just in love with self-love is selfishness. That is why whoever pampers you, caters to you, you'll be very affectionate to them because you are in love with yourself and somebody is pampering that, catering to that. The moment that person stops pampering, catering, what happens? Hatred comes, dvesha comes. Cheated, sir. I got cheated, disillusioned. Vedanta is correct, sir. People in the world are all very bad. Why? Because you are being pampered all along. One day that person decided not to pamper. Because how long the fellow can pamper? How long they can pamper? Nobody can pamper. Can you pamper? No, you can't. No. Are you able to follow? Why people are not able to turn contemplative? Selfishness. Selfishness means otherness. Otherness means what is otherness? Selfishness means otherness. What is otherness? That suffocates the other, that irritates the other, that frustrates the other. Using them. They know at some point of time they are being used. That really suffocates. At that point of time, they just want to. Vedanta, we say, if other is doing that to you, remember, you have been doing that to, you are doing that. That's why it is happening. Because the law says the unselfish person, the unselfish person will never experience all this. An unselfish person will never experience all this. Therefore, answer. Why we are not able to be contemplative? Because we are so selfish. We are so selfish. Selfish means otherness. Otherness means you are different, I am different. You are different means, can you be of any use to me? I'll look at you. Can you be of any use to me? I'll be very affectionate. The moment you are not of any use to me, correct. Scott, put the fellow in the crusher. Yeah, put the fellow in the crusher. Put the fellow in the bin. Discard. Why? Because it is of no use. Such a person will live in perpetual worry, anxiety, depression, fear. This person can only be superstitious. Everybody follow? This person will only be superstitious only because they are the one who looks for weird solutions. Last example and I conclude. I have given this example any number of times. You have seen, no? If there is a Gautam Buddha walking on the road and the street magician walking on the road, the crowd will go to whom? Gautam Buddha. The crowd will go to whom? Street magician only. Why? Because he is promising you something. Buddha says those kind of promises don't work. Those kind of promises don't work. It is like the drunken man making a promise. All promises are drunken only. If a drunken man makes a promise, next day it will be forgotten. You can't go and ask the person, oh, you promised me, no. You know, all promises will be made only when you are not normal. When you are abnormal only, you will make promises. When you are normal, you will say, when you are normal, you say, I will try. Because that is the reality. That is the reality. All promises are made only in the abnormal sphere. So, and if you believe in any promise, whose fault is it? Able to follow? Therefore, what is the reason for people not turning contemplative? Lack of courage. Why lack of courage? Selfish. With this, we conclude for today and we'll discuss superstition next week. And we will not be meeting next week. We'll meet the following week. Next Wednesday, we will not meet. The following Wednesday,